Shall we start? So good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here in Turin at his workshop on philosophy of science meets quantitative studies of science. I am Eugenio Petrovich from the University of Turin. Here with me there is Professor Andrea Iacona, who is the director of the LLC Center, which hosts us today. And I'm going to just say a couple of words for describing you a little bit the spirit of this workshop, and then I leave the floor for to Andrea for some institutional greetings. In the early days of scientometricians and philosophers of science had a certain amount of dialogue. So scientometricians looked to philosophy of science for having theories of scientific change, of the structure of science, and also people leading philosophers of science like Thomas Kuhn were interested in the, at the time, pioneering studies of networks of scientists and the communication among scientists. Unfortunately, in the last decades, this connection has been lost, and the two fields are no more communicating much, unfortunately. I guess that if we do a analysis of the citation flows between the representative journals, we will find very few citations exchanges between the leading journals in the fields. But if you think about the contents, the topics of these two areas, it's surprising that this connection is lost, because there are so many areas of common interest and potential exchange between scientometrics. With scientometrics, I mean all quantitative studies of science, so bibliometrics, science mapping, all of this. And so among the many topics that come to mind in this sense, I just mentioned two. On the one hand, we have all the debates on research evaluation and the role of metrics, because in these debates, frequently you find some criticism of the use of metrics that have an epistemological flavor. So the argument is that metrics could favor a certain amount of conservatism in research and discourage innovation. And so these are topics that have to do with also scientific progress, a topic in the philosophy of science. And another topic that comes to mind, very recent, is the advent of this new family of disruption indicators in scientometrics that aim to measure quantitatively some features of scientific progress that are very close to some interests of philosophers of science, like scientific revolutions and the kind. But you can think among many other topics in which both philosophers of science and scientometricians can have a dialogue. So the spirit of this workshop is try to reignite the dialogue between the two areas. And we have invited leading experts in both fields. And the idea is to try to, reignite the communication. And so let me say that we are very, very happy and proud and honored to have lots of leading experts in quantitative studies of science. I will not mention every one of you, but we have two people who were awarded with a prize medal. So Harry Small is connected from remotely. We have Professor Glenzel. And we have also the president of the International Society for Scientometrics and Informatics with us, Professor Abramo. So it's very nice that we have such figures. We have Paul Waters, who is the former director of the CWTS, which is probably the leading research center in quantitative studies of science in Europe. And clearly, I will not present all of the speakers. I will leave this to the chair. And for the philosophy of science field, we are very happy to have some of the few representatives of philosophy of science that work also with scientometrics and digital humanities methods. It's nice that we have some of the few people in philosophy of science that work with this kind, that are familiar with this kind of quantitative methods. And then we have also the philosophy of science of our department who are very interested in this kind of topics. So just let me finish with some few practical notes on the workshop. So first about the timing, the invited speakers have a slot of 50 minutes, and you are quite free to manage this time, but the suggestion is to leave at least 10 minutes for questions with the audience. And for questions, I kindly ask you to come here to the desk and use the microphone, because we are recording, and so for people that are following remotely, it's better the audio. As you notice, we had to change the room of the conference because Palazzo Nuovo, who is the main building of the Humanities Faculties in Turin, is currently occupied, so we cannot use the room. So we have to adapt a little bit to this new arrangement. And as I mentioned, the talks will be recorded, and so they will be made available after the conference so that people who were not able to come could catch up. Then for coffee breaks and lunches, they are at Cafeteria Cairoli, which is just on the other side of the road. You can even see from the window where it is. So time we will move together to go there, but it's really very, very easy to reach it. And so the lunches are actually reserved for the invited speakers, but for the coffee breaks, everyone can join. The dinner will be tomorrow at the same place of the lunches, so always Cafeteria Cairoli. And it's tomorrow from 7:30 p.m. If you need toilets, there are on the floor. There are some vending machines on the second floor of the building, I guess. And in the materials, you will find a little program, some sheets for taking notes, and also there is a map of the city of Turin. And there are also little booklets with some touristic information. If you need some highlights from the city, I guess that the Museo Egizio and the Museo del Cinema are two of the main museums in the city. The Museo Egizio is actually the second most important Egyptian collection in the world after the one in Cairo. So it's very nice you are here. And that's it. So now I leave the floor to Professor Iacona, who's the director of the LLC. And thank you again for being here.
Thank you very much, Eugenio. Well, I have to do the institutional part. So as the director of the LLC, I would like to welcome all of you to Turin. I hope that you enjoy the experience, and it would be a good moment for exchange of ideas and opinion. And in particular, I would like to welcome the quantitative study community here, because this is kind of a new thing for our center. Our research center was founded 10 years ago, and we have philosophy sciences is one of the main area research of the center, but we have never hosted any event about quantitative studies, and it is a great opportunity to open also that area of research in our center. So I hope that well, especially thanks to the presence of Eugenio, who is really into this field, and I hope that there will be further collaboration in the future. So the research center that I represent is very open and welcome this interchange between the community of philosophy of science and quantitative studies. So I think that's it. I hope you enjoy it, and welcome again.
Thank you very much, Andrea.